Oh, welcome to Caching in the Northwest. You know this is the official podcast of GeoWoodstock 18 right here in the Great Pacific Northwest. Each week we're going to talk about caches and cachers from here and all around the globe. So while you're shopping online for larger sweatpants, we'll be caching in the Northwest.
If you're shopping for pants, you're not a podcaster, apparently. Well, of course, that means it's time to bring in our goal-setting Gibbon. Some say he gets excited to use a new dish towel. And others say he will correct your verb forms. It's tense. All we know is he's called Land Monkey.
Well, when I get out camping with a friend, it's usually too tense. But, you know, we're just going to roll with it tonight. And I'm going to look over this way and I'm going to go, hey, JT Coffee, welcome back to the show.
Wait, wrong way. This way. There we go.
I know.
Hey!
It really messes with you, doesn't it? It's backwards.
If I just keep going, you'll be there eventually.
Yeah. So for our audio listeners, we've got our good friend JT Coffee back on the podcast again tonight. And we are really looking forward to it. We are going to talk about planning your caching goals with geocaching planner extraordinaire, JT Coffee.
Hello, everyone.
I'll tell you, we're going to learn something tonight. I know it. Every time you're on the show, Jesse, every time.
Ooh,
something new.
That sounds like a challenge. I'm on it.
All right. Okay. So these are our nuggets of motivation for the year, I think, Jesse. Is that what you're calling them?
Yes. Things to get you up and out of the house.
Fantastico. Well, you know what? Something else that's a nugget is just the little bit of love that we get every week from our patrons. Folks, we want to throw out a quick reminder. We appreciate the support of our patrons who help to keep this podcast coming each and every week. Thanks to Land Sharks, our corporate Denali level sponsor. If you want to know more about supporting this show, click that Patreon link on the cachingandw.com website.
That's right. And folks, if you want to join in tonight's conversation, use the hashtag goals right there in the chat. Might be somewhere else for you. And of course, don't forget hashtag FATAS. That's for the after show. And throw a topic in there and we'll talk just about anything in the after show.
That's right. That's where our $1 million guarantee comes in. If you give us $1 million, we'll talk about just about anything you want.
Mm-hmm. Guaranteed. Oh, hey, we've got a little HQ news tonight.
Do we?
Yes. So
high quality?
It's high quality. Yeah.
High definition.
No, that's HD news. This is
True.
just high quality news. Hey, are your calendars ready? Hey, we're talking about calendars tonight. Who knew?
Amazing.
The HQ has confirmed senior moments. They've confirmed senior moments for 2021.
Do those need confirming?
I don't know. I just read that and I copied that directly from the website. I assumed it was several, but yeah, they're senior moments.
I think they're souvenir moments.
I think they are, but that's really funny. Cash in, trash out, season 1. There are 2 seasons now.
Well, maybe they're season moments.
Oh. They go cash in, trash out goes from March 1st to May 31st for season 1. Blue Switch Day, April 30th through May 2nd.
So it's Blue Switch season.
It's Blue Switch 3 days.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's okay. That's okay. Who knows what it's going to be like in May or April. We have no idea.
Warmer than now, one would hope.
We're hoping.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, exactly. International Geocaching Day. That's still one day, August 21st.
Just one?
Just one.
Okay.
Cash in, trash out, season 2, because one season was not enough.
It's like a sequel.
Yeah. September 1st through November 30th. International Earth Cache Days.
Now we're talking.
October 9th and 10th.
I'm busy that weekend.
No. Are you going to people's houses in Canada?
Probably not that weekend.
Okay. And farewell 2021, December 31st.
called
So
See Ya.
unlike this year, it's only a day, not a week.
That's optimistic.
Technically, that was last year, but yes.
That's true. That was so last year.
All right. Hey, we've got some WSGA news too, I think, don't we?
Yeah. Yeah. I can share some of that. If you didn't know, I volunteer with the Washington State Geocaching Association, which is a really cool club of geocachers in the state and anywhere. You don't have to be living in the state to be a member of the WSGA. And we have played Spot the Ape in the past. We just finished up a Spot the Ape game, and we're going to do it again. Spot the Ape, the sequel, starts on February 1st. That's when you can start finding ape tags. It's going to have the same boundaries as before, which is the US and Canada. But this time there's going to be a ton more packets. Packets go on sale for premium WSJ members, not to be confused with premium HQ members. You can be a premium member at the WSJ, and you get special early access to getting your hider packets this weekend. So set your calendars and renew your memberships if you haven't already. And you can decide which team you want to hide for, or all of them if you wanted to.
Like
and then,
Edward.
or Jake, that's a hard one. No, there's actually 3 teams, and whatever you don't hide for, you can find for, which is cool. And so we're really excited. It's the biggest Spot the Ape game we have ever done, and it is unleashing very soon.
Wow.
Cool.
How very cool.
Yeah. Set up your notifications on snagthetag.com if you haven't done that already, because that's where they will publish through. And you can claim your finds and get your really cool ticket coins. It's the same ticket design as before, but there are new versions, new editions and colors this time.
And these things are huge. I mean,
they are huge.
They're the size of a cell phone.
They almost are. Yeah, they're really big.
Yeah. I got to see
big nowadays.
Oh, that's true.
Size of
they're
a
the size of
5G
some
phone?
cell phones.
Okay.
They're huge, and I was able to, lift a box of them, and there's some serious weight there. So you're going to want one of these suckers.
So it's for working out.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, gosh,
you gotta do the coin press.
Coin press. There you go.
Coin
Nice.
curls.
the chat,
Coin
the
girl,
chat
I love
box
it.
is already really active as it often is. We love you guys. And I wanted to note that GSM times 2, Jesse, your reputation precedes you. He says, JT Coffee talking about planning. I'm either going to be inspired or humbled.
Plan for humbled.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's what I'm going to be.
I have an embarrassing long list. That's for sure.
We would expect nothing less.
Exactly. Very
What
cool.
else we got?
Well, I mean, I threw out the hashtag goals earlier, and we've already got a bunch of goals that our listeners have tossed in before we're even telling them how to plan for them. They've done this on their own.
That's awesome.
So we start with 3 Hams, who says, find 1,000 caches this year. I found over 2,000 per year for the last 4 years, but with no hashtag geo road trips in the foreseeable future, I'll settle for 1,000 in 2021.
Yeah.
There you go.
I have the same goal. That's one of mine. There is, and it's inspired by, of course, just getting out caching, but there is a challenge that in down by GCD that has.
She said, we've got to end the podcast.
I consider that up by GCD, but
Okay.
all perspective.
You have to have 5 years with at least 1,000 finds. So that'll help you out with that one.
There you go. That one's never
Ooh.
happened for me.
I know 3 Hams, and I don't think he'll settle for 1,000.
I doubt it. Yeah.
I guess we'll see. We'll see how the year goes.
Let's see. GSM times 2 says my calendar has the souvenir dates. Does that count as planning?
Yes, it does.
There you go.
Done. That's it. GSM times 2, you're done. Back it up. You don't have to do anything else this year.
Trexer says I met my goal of 2020 in 2020. or
Wow.
I should say 2020 and 2020, which got me some great cash heavy areas, perhaps more caching off the beaten path this year.
Gold
Nice.
Country.
Yeah.
Ooh. Team Noltex threw out there 4 more to finish the Washington State History Challenge and 5 other than recent months to finish off Jasmer number 4.
Wow.
Nice.
That's
Well done.
amazing.
That
Congrats on
history
that.
challenge is on my list too. It's a great
Hey.
one.
All
You're
right.
just all
We'll talk about that soon then, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I think Keith's goal is to have a birthday.
Yeah, congratulations.
Is
in
that
advance.
today?
No,
If
that's
so-
correct.
His
Yeah, that's,
birthday is right around Christmas time. I can't remember the
Oh.
exact.
yeah, I think he mentioned it because we were going through the souvenir dates, and the last one is December
Oh,
31st, which I
31st
think
is
is
his
also
birthday.
his
That's
birthday.
when Keats' birthday is.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
I do remember that.
That's when it
End
hit
of the year.
the chat there.
Getting
Since
a
it's the last
souvenir
day
on
of
your
the year.
birthday, that'd be
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure HQ thought of him when they planned that.
You
Well,
know, I'm
that's
guessing that's it.
Yeah, that's what the souvenir's for.
Yeah,
Called Keats' birthday souvenir.
everybody that finds the cash on Keats' birthday, you get a souvenir, and you
That's
get a
right.
souvenir.
Everybody gets a souvenir. And if
Yeah.
Keith makes it to his birthday, he's pretty much made it throughout the year.
Yeah, even Doramore, if she gets a cache on that day, she gets a souvenir. And her goal is to find a 1,000th mystery cache this year. Got him solved. Just need to get out to find him.
Sweet. Nice. All right.
Let's see. We've got another one here.
Oh, there's tons.
Yeah.
I know.
We're not going to
And
be
I
able to get to our content. It's all
I
listener
know.
feedback.
GSM times 2 wants to do a second Jasmer loop.
Excellent.
Nice.
Second Jasmine loop. Let's
Um,
see. Keats is hoping to fill in a mystery cache calendar grid.
Mhm.
Wow.
That's a fun one.
CRS 98 wants to finish his multi-cache, small cache, and regular cache calendars. I'm down to 15, 1, and 3 days left. Ooh.
Oh, so close. Nice.
Wowzers. Yeah.
Team Noltex also only 4 dates this year to fill our puzzle calendar.
That's awesome.
Oh, that moved on me. The Aussie geocacher, 24 more states of the USA for me to complete USA as an Australian.
Wow.
That's impressive.
That
From
is
Australia.
impressive.
And you've got
Wow.
half of the US done already. That's pretty impressive.
That is. Wow.
He's probably got more states than I do, and I live here.
I was going to say, is that
Okay,
more safe than I
You
know?
slacker.
Okay, that's embarrassing. I got to get out more.
Doesn't bother me
Cache
at all.
Canada wants to do a full Earth Cache fizzy.
Woo.
Nice. I think they're well on their way. Like that I follow Cache Canada on YouTube, and they have been working on that one for a while. So I won't be surprised if they achieve it.
That's awesome.
Can I order that at a bar? I'd like
An
a
Earth
full
Cache
Earth Cache
fizzy?
fizzy.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a little earthy, but it's
It's like it's got a good like Islay flavor to it.
yeah,
Ooh.
that's right. Peaty.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's like going to one of those healthy smoothie places and saying, "Yeah, what do you have that doesn't taste like my lawn?"
They're like, sorry.
Yeah, sorry, no
Your lawn. That's about all we got.
We can make it fizzy though. We'll throw a little
hey.
seltzer water in there and make
You
it
know.
fizzy.
Being fizzy just makes almost anything better.
There you go.
Agreed.
Almost anything. Well, gosh, we've kicked around a whole bunch of goals already. But if you need help starting to plan your geocaching goals for 2021, we brought in the best geocaching planner we know. jtcoffee, she's right there.
That's
There she
me.
is.
Yeah. So Jeff, what were some geocaching goals you were able to plan and achieve in that year that shall not be named?
Yes, gosh,
year.
it's similar to a lot of goals that folks have. I was interested in filling in different flavors of calendars and fizzies. And so I was really proud to finish my multi-calendar last year. It definitely had some goals I had to let go, but I clung to that mystery calendar, the multi-calendar, which it means not finding a multi like on a streak, like every day of the year, but is taking just a regular calendar grid and then filling it in with only multi caches. And so when someone says, I'm going to do my mystery calendar, I'm going to do my regular calendar, you're filling in that calendar grid with a particular flavor, size, or type of cache. And so last year I was really happy to finish my multi-calendar. I did a couple other flavors of calendars too, but that multi one, that took a long time. I started that in the end of 2018 and worked on it all that time. And so it was a super satisfying finish. I also completed a challenge that required finding 100 benchmarks. And the challenge cache itself was down in Oregon. And it ended up being a really fun challenge to do in these uncertain times, because a lot of benchmarks are those discs, but they can also be radio towers or water towers. And in the times when there wasn't even a lot of guidance as could we even like mill around in parks and could we mill around with other people, just doing drive-bys of these benchmarks was totally doable. And it was a really nice way to feel like I was out caching, even though I wasn't doing it like I normally do. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That is, this is why you're brought in as the expert. None of the three of us, regular hosts or irregular hosts, are going to really try and impress anybody with our goal setting and goal achieving, because we suck. And so we've brought you in because you're amazing. But one of the things I've noticed when people have talked about their goals and when you've been going through a number of them here, Jessie, some of them are challenge caches and some of them are, challenges. Like, are goals basically the same as challenge caches?
That's a great question. They can be. Challenge caches are a deliberate type of mystery or unknown cache, which shows up as a little blue question mark on your map. And those have additional logging requirements, meaning you have to do something in order to sign those. And the CO, the cache owner, decides whatever that is. And it might be finding 100 benchmarks, like I was just describing, or in our area, there's, Thomas Guide map challenges, and there's the Jasmer challenge and the Fizzy challenges. And some of those are really, really hard, and they can be a stretch depending on how you like to cache. And they make really great goals, since not only can you achieve a feat, but then you can celebrate by going out and finding this cache that you couldn't have done otherwise. But goals can be, of course, anything at all, anything that you want to achieve.
All right. Well, speaking of things you want to achieve, and you gave us that impressive list of everything you achieved last year, but inquiring minds want to know, were there any goals not completed last year that are now on this year's list?
Yes, I didn't do as many Fizzy loops as I had wanted to, because I had intended on just traveling a little further than I was able to this last year. And so I finished my second Fizzy loop. And so this year I'm hoping to finish number 3 and number 4. And I'm just single digits away from doing both of those. So fingers crossed. I also had some just distance and travel goals, of more states and finding caches by charter members that I've kind of cached out my area, and I was planning to find some more in other states, but those will wait for times that when just hopefully soon.
Now, Jessie, we've had you on the show before, and you have shown us this very impressive notebook that you make. We assume you have a brand new one started for 2021.
I just kept it going this year. I just added some 2021 pages because since I didn't get to all of them, the data that I had included was still relevant. So I just kept going, and I added a fresh 2021 list and new different pages that will help me cache a little bit differently or plan a little bit differently that I'd like to get.
Okay.
Very cool.
Sounds great.
Available soon on
oh, sorry. You're willing to customize those notebooks for all of our listeners, right?
Oh, absolutely. I should do that. Make little PDFs of various pages that you can print out as needed.
Wow. Available soon for a patron near you. Yes.
You just never know what's coming. Yeah. That is a famous notebook. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't think it's a stretch to say that this year is going to be a bit of a different year for planning geocaching goals than last year. Remember last year in the before times in January when we thought all these things were going to happen? And yeah.
Yeah.
So
I was in Scotland at this point last year.
oh,
Just so totally different.
Wow.
it is different there. No bagpipes on this podcast.
No.
Yeah, maybe someday.
Task
Are
bagpipes.
you, dear listener, are you out there? Are you a bagpipe playing cacher? Talk to us. We might have you on. Anyway,
I just heard bagpipes in my neighborhood this week for the first time.
oh,
wow.
And there was somebody walking by and I go, "You're hearing bagpipes, right?" "Oh yeah, that's so-and-so. She's 13. She's just down the street. She's been practicing. She goes to all the events and shows and plays bagpipes." I'm like,
Wow.
That's cool. But I mean,
Does she
if Jim or I were your neighbor, you know what the answer would have been when you said, "You hear bagpipes, don't you?"
like
No.
no. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
"That's why you're not my neighbors."
Oh, for so many reasons. All right. Well, but coming back to that famous notebook.
Oh, yeah.
Are there any different strategies? How are you approaching goal planning this year differently than last year?
Yeah, I started a strategy of planning seasonally. One of the pages that I have is just season blocks and month blocks, because one of the things that I am good at doing is planning future trips. It's one of the ways I like spending dark winter nights, is just dreaming of all the things that I want to accomplish, or searching through all the tools of like, oh, if I get this one, and this one, that's a multi-fizzy whole trip that I could take. And then, so I do all that planning in the wintertime, and then I get distracted by summertime by either the new stuff or new ideas or something like that. And then I just don't get to what I wanted to get to. So I'm trying to plan out actually my whole year, not by date, but kind of by month. And I can pick some seasonal caches. There are some that are only available when it's not snowy, or just aren't safe to go for when it's snowy. And so I can plan for doing that when it's all that has melted, and then I can find some caches that are perfect for winter time. Because I bet, like so many of you, I find a great cache and it's totally the wrong time of year to go for it, and then I forget. And then I remember again when it's snowing again, and then I can't go. This will also really help me plan some really cool local trips and help me get excited about seeing some of the new places that are really exciting and fun to visit that are really near home. And I'm also trying to just keep my mind open and not worrying if I don't accomplish something, because I like to get really focused sometimes on my goals, and it can be quite morally devastating if I don't meet them, but I'm letting all that go. And just as a good life plan and motto in general, just making sure that my goals are fun but not devastating if I don't accomplish.
There you go. Not only are we getting some pro tips on planning our geocaching year, we're getting sound life advice tonight, so.
Same.
Geocaching is life. Mr. Lindbergh.
Also in the chat, we're getting sound life advice. Apparently it's time for me to move.
Because you hear the bagpipes.
Storm,
The pipes,
you know what the difference between bagpipes and onions are?
No, tell us.
No one cries when you chop up the bagpipes.
Nicely played, Dora Moore.
She did
All
follow up. She did follow up and says, "Actually, I love bagpipes, just not too close."
Hey,
Oh, so
there you go.
Yeah.
There is love for bagpipes. All right.
Mhm.
So Jesse, if someone isn't sure what kinds of goals that they might be able to set, now, it looks like in our live chat, there's been a few people who've jumped right up there and they've got some goals, but maybe not everybody does yet. What would be some examples of goals that in 2021 could be achievable that people could start up? Maybe they're new geocachers, but things they can start out with.
Yeah, I like to think about what I want to accomplish in general. Like, I want to go on more hikes, or I want to learn how to do more puzzles, or I want to meet more geocachers. And then I set my goals to kind of feed into those like overarching goals. And so, several years ago, for example, my goal was to have a better attitude about puzzles because I just had this like, I hate puzzles. I cannot do them. I just completely ignore them. They're all dumb. And I had very few puzzle finds, and I realized that was kind of closed-minded. And so I decided I started the year with 100 puzzle finds total, and I wanted to find 200 puzzle finds, so twice as many as I had already found in that year. And that really helped me start to find and sort through and find some of those puzzles that help you learn how to do puzzles. And it worked. I totally changed my attitude. I like a lot of different puzzles now. And now I'm doing a lot of different ones. I also have the goal of getting up over 1,000 puzzle finds this year. My goals are often focused on challenge caches, like we were saying, but they don't have to be. Even if you really want to meet more geocachers, and even if events aren't possible, which is a great way to meet geocachers, you can, set the intention to thank geocachers for creative logs. Maybe if you're reading through a log that someone found on your cache and it makes you giggle or something because they said something funny, rather than just keeping that to yourself, send them a message. Say, gosh, that was a hilarious log. That was awesome. Thank you. And that bubbles up a whole new conversation. And now you have a new connection within the community. Or maybe you are so impressed, you find a gadget cache of theirs and it is just like the most amazing, mind-bending thing you've ever seen. Send them a note and just say, wow, that was incredible. I'd love to know more about how you made that, or what tool do you use to make this thing do this thing. And it's a great way of meeting new geocachers. And that has nothing to do with, chalking up the numbers. It's just putting yourself out there.
That is some fantastic suggestions, Jesse. Thank you.
That
really is
the biggest advice I've been giving to people in my other groups I'm part of. Is just reach out and connect with somebody, however, because it's so important. That's one thing we're really missing.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, there was a solution offered. Well, no pun intended. Solution for puzzles. Offer to be the driver for the puzzle dude.
There you go.
Pro
Yes,
tip
Canada
right
has
there.
a meal.
Pro tip.
Jesse, are there good examples of geocaching goals for people who might be finding it harder to get out during this time? I mean, in the chat, I'm seeing so many people saying, "Oh, I had all these plans, but the stupid border's closed."
Yeah.
Right? Whether they were looking to go north or south.
Yeah.
So maybe some of those, travel plans that we had aren't able to happen, or we're not able to meet with the people that we were planning to meet with. What kind of goals can we, change and still be able to accomplish something, but maybe a little closer to home?
Yeah. I would think about numbers just in a different way. I have been, speaking of interesting logs, I've been trying to make sure that my logs are a little bit more than just one sentence these days, to really kind of tell the story of how I got there or why I found that cache that day. And we'll talk about tools soon, but one of the tools that I like to use is Project GC. And it has a calculator of your word choice diversity and your total word count in your logs. So you can have a goal of increasing your average number of words per log, or diversifying the words in your log, so you're not just saying, well, I showed up and I found it and it was great, thanks. And you don't have to find very many caches in order to do those sorts of things, to really sit down and tell the story and create an interesting log. I also heard I think there's a podcast in the area that actually points out creative logs too. Maybe you guys have heard of it.
Familiar.
I can't quite think of it. I can't put my finger on it right now, but I think it's out there. I suggest everyone look it up.
Example of logs to me.
Yeah, people used to send those in.
Plus, like we were saying too about puzzles, there are always puzzles to solve. And, I can certainly appreciate that puzzles can be really frustrating. I get frustrated by some of the really challenging puzzles that I have right in my community. I am gifted with having challenging puzzles in my community, but boy, howdy, sometimes it's just, and to just continue to swirl around confusing puzzles can be really disheartening, because you look at it and you're like, I still don't know how to solve this. And so you can always pick another town that maybe you are hoping to go to, maybe you have no intention to ever go to, but try a new territory of puzzles. And maybe that will teach you something that will help unlock the things that you need to figure out in order to solve puzzles near you. Or maybe that'll inspire you. Suddenly you've solved 10 puzzles in that town. Maybe that's a great trip. Go check it out. As long as the border's open, of course.
Of course. Yeah. That's a big thing. Yeah. Yeah. I back in the before times when we could have events, I used to love that we would have local puzzle solving events and people get together and help each other out and offer advice and tips. That was fun.
Well,
Yes.
I got to say, there's still stuff like that that's going on. So up in our area, Dora Moore with the Metrovan Geocachers is running Zoom events, and she has done a Zoom puzzle solving night. So
Great.
you can still virtually connect with people.
Oh, yes.
It's a little trickier though, because it helps if you were kind of already connected into the community, right? So there's a little bit of an advantage there, but definitely I think we're all really itching to get back and be able to.
Oh, yeah.
To
CRS
connect.
98 said goal is attend an event, please.
Yeah.
Just one.
We're all feeling it.
We are all feeling that.
Well, we were graciously invited to Dora Moore's New Year's event, New Year's Eve event. So
that was
a lot of fun. It's a great group of people. And I want to say in Washington State, there might be this association that's doing virtual meetups on Saturdays.
Yeah, you're right. That rings a bell.
Yeah. And their Cash Advance is doing them on Fridays. So there's chances to be able to talk about puzzle solving and such.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And it's a great way to reach out too. And again, to meet those people. If you are really stressed, most people who put out puzzles are really hoping that people will solve them and find them. And they're happy to help you through it if you are really at a dead end.
Yeah. And a really cool idea here, Dora Morris said, is because she's using Zoom and she can create breakout groups. She said she's connecting newer puzzlers with more experienced ones into smaller groups, which is fantastic.
Yeah. What a great idea. That's fabulous. How creative.
Dora Moore is nothing but creative. Yeah.
Yeah. I can just go back to that Olympics. That was Milk Jug Snowshoes is one of the highlights of my memories up there.
That sounds like a great band name.
Oh,
Snowshoes.
Yeah. It is now.
Or a geocaching name.
There you go.
Ooh.
You need a fresh new handle? There you go.
You're welcome. First one to go claim it.
All right. Well,
maybe that's the caching name for the baby.
Hey, that could be. Somebody needs to go submit that.
I don't know if anybody suggested that one, but that might be a winner now.
Someday we got to find out what that baby's caching name is. All right. Well, we've talked about goals and goals that didn't happen, goals that want to happen, but I like tools.
Yes.
Do you have any recommended tools that you use to plan your geocaching goals?
Yes. I have a handful that I use a lot. I actually really love there's a new Fizzy tool on the HQ app and on the website. And that is so fun. It helps you wherever you are see the caches near you that will help you that you still need to do a Fizzy loop. It's super easy. You don't have to log in and apply filters and all that kind of thing. It's just a quick button that you push on the app, which is super helpful.
There you go.
And I've been using that quite a bit just to help me remember, like, oh yeah, I need to get that one. I use Project GC when you want to dive in and pick the different flavors of calendar challenges or goals and Fizzy challenges and goals. you can sort and filter that way with Project GC. Plus, of course, you can find where challenge caches are, since those do create good goals. And then the checkers, of course, that Project GC has to help you keep track of your progress, so that you don't either have to do it by hand, or you can cross-check and make sure that the bookkeeping that you're doing at home is matching what the checker is saying.
Hey, Jesse.
Yeah.
On that note, one of the things that I love about Project GC, because I don't have a handmade Jesse notebook, customized handmade, but with Project GC, when you do, so we're working on the monkeys, we're working on the finding a mystery cache, like filling the calendar with mystery caches. And Project GC, when you run the search function for that, it gives you the option to go and just drop it all into your Google Calendar. So you know what date, you get a reminder on the day or the day before. Hey, tomorrow you need to go and find a mystery cache. So using tools like that with those functions, that's just yet another great reason to use Project GC. But I
totally agree.
Just thought I would add that to your plethora of amazing tool options.
There's LandMonkey solving problems with technology.
Oh yeah. I love doing that. And then you can color code them when you add, if you're working on your regular calendar and your other calendar and your small calendar, you can color code them. So then when your calendar tells you you need a cache today, if you're doing all these corresponding cross-checking, referencing different types of calendars, you can help you remember, okay, I need an other and a puzzle. And on the busy days, like when I know that I need a lot of different things, but I also have a lot of other to-do list items, I can plan ahead and decide, okay, that's the multi that I'm going to get on that particular day. And I drop the GC code in my Google Calendar so that I don't forget that I've already planned out this tricky day.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
So you notice there, LandMonkey solved a problem with technology, and JT Coffee took it to another level.
Well, yeah. And just for those who maybe aren't quite getting the inside joke about LandMonkey solving problems with technology, there was about 3 or 4 instances before the podcast started where LandMonkey was having issues with technology and said, screw it, and solved the problems using just practical solutions and
analog solutions.
Technology. Anyway,
it takes all types.
Yeah. And we definitely have all types on this podcast.
We were talking about trips before and building trips. My favorite tool for building trips is Cache Tour. I love Cache Tour. And through that website, you can build trips without actually choosing a day right away. So you just build this hypothetical day, and you can, when you decide whatever that is, then you drop the date in and you can add it to your calendar and so forth. But you can plan you can title it like, for a sunny day that I need a multi and a puzzle. And then when you wake up and you need a multi and a puzzle and it's a sunny day, you can go to that Cache Tour and there's your day already all planned. Or I love planning future trips. Like one day when I go to insert town or national park here, these are all the caches I'm going to find. These are this is the big parent trip and the little bitty trips that are going to feed into the parent trip. And I don't have to particularly find a day for that. It's just all planned out if I ever want to go.
Well done. Yeah. Looking forward to those trips for sure. That's one of the things we're looking at, is starting to plan out where we would like to go once we can start traveling again. There's all kinds of great adventures, and definitely all of those things are fantastic tools. And not even if you're trying to like fill the fizzy grid or any of those, JASM or any of those huge challenges. Even if you're, as you said off the beginning, part of our discussion on the show, Jesse, if your goal is just to find, I want to get to 10 new parks, 10 new national parks this year or something like that, right? Something really inspiring like that. Tools like Cache Tour and Project GC can, and of course the geocaching.com website itself can be tools to help you do that. But, clearly we're all going to have to admit nothing can ever replace the notebook.
The notebook. Exactly. I take it with me. It's with me all the time. I have cute little bullet journals so that I can check things off as they happen.
Nice.
And because it's just so fun.
That's awesome.
I don't know if I've heard anybody describe bullet journals as cute before.
Well,
then yours don't have enough hearts on them.
there you
And
go.
True.
W's for Wheragos and R's for regulars. I mean, come on.
Yeah, Chris, come on.
Come on.
I'm going to have to up my bullet journal game.
Clearly.
So the hearts, by the way, the hearts are earned favorite points. So when I get an earned favorite point, I fill in, and it's green, obviously, green heart. Jeez Louise.
Of course.
That is cool. Wow. Good for you. That's neat. All right. So we've talked about some planning aspects. And we've talked about some tools for planning our goals for 2021. Do you have some really helpful tips that people can kind of just pack them away and get ready and just, first thing Friday morning, just start working on them? What are some great tips for setting goals for this year?
Yeah. I like to remember just to keep it fun. This is a great game intended to keep us active, get us outside, exploring new places, even that are near. They don't have to be far. And so keeping goals in that perspective is great, because I know it can be really overwhelming as we're talking about all these different myriads of goals. And you may be thinking, gosh, I am nowhere near any of that. It's totally fine. If you want to fill in a calendar, but work on it for years and years and years because you only go caching on Saturdays, you will fill a calendar if you only go caching on Saturdays, by the way. It just takes longer than a year to do it. That's great. But if filling in your puzzle fizzy using only large sized puzzle caches sounds terrible and hard, then don't do it. But if it sounds awesome, like this is your challenge, like go for it.
That's great advice.
I'm personally motivated by having like a zillion goals. I have a very long list that because I am encouraged, I'm a box checker, obviously, by heart. And I get motivation by checking off a zillion things. And you might be motivated and operate better by picking one big, tough goal and then achieving that one big, tough thing rather than, a ton of little things. And so it's making sure your goals just suit you and your style and the things that you want to achieve, and like we were saying before, be flexible, because you just never know what your year is going to be. And if you can't make any of the goals that you had initially started, then that's okay. You've already made next year's goals. You can pick some new ones.
There you go.
Yeah, you mentioned big, tough goals. It reminded me of the famous goal-setting phrase, the BHAG, the big, hairy, audacious goal. It's in a lot of business seminars and stuff. It just made me think, what's your biggest, scariest goal that you currently have?
Oh, that's a great question. I'm working on some blackout challenges that are near my house, which involve some really hard, notorious puzzles. And in order to get those, I've got to march through these like multi-level layer hard puzzles. And so I'm going to do it.
Okay. What's a blackout challenge? Can you remind us what that is?
Oh, a blackout challenge is finding every single cache within a certain area that the cache owner describes. Maybe that's a county or a state or some interesting amorphous polygon of of cities and towns and so forth. I've got some near me in some park areas and some town areas and just some other regions. And those are really fun because they're so close by. I don't have to go very far. But in order to get them, you do need to get through some of these really tough puzzles that I have been just kind of happily indefinitely ignoring because they're very, very hard.
Yeah.
But that's what long winter nights are for, for me anyway, is jumping in. And I have a new puzzle solving notebook. Speaking of notebooks, so I can march through some of those things and take pages and pages to do it.
Fantastic.
Wow. The audience has been throwing in so many goals. I hope we can get to them all. Starcasher says I continue my 61 month long streak of hiding at least one geocache.
Wow.
Nice. That's amazing.
Yeah. Complete round 6 and 7 of the finds calendar, and also make big progress on mystery calendar fill. There's 50 left.
Wow. Sounds like Start Cacher contributes a lot to his local caching community as
Yeah.
well there.
Huge.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Very cool.
Keith says we need to give multi some love. Multi-challenge, any multi-cache challenges out there?
I'm sure there must be.
There must
Yes.
be. I
There's
like
some-
multis.
There's some in my area that multi-cache challenges, either filling in multi pieces of your multi-fizzy or doing the calendar. Mhm.
There's one from GSM times 2 that wants to know, JT Coffee, do you sign the challenge log before or after you meet the qualifications for the challenge?
Both. If the CO says, do not come and sign this before you achieve it, then I don't. But if I'm in an area that out of my home territory, and there's some really great challenges, I will sign those and then write a note saying, okay, now I'm working on these. And back to Project GC, it will keep a list of those challenges that you have signed but not yet achieved, so that that keeps your memory going of like, oh yeah, I signed that challenge back in Kentucky 4 years ago. I got to get that done. And it does really help me with my bookkeeping of making sure I achieve those.
Very good.
Nice.
What else you got, Chris?
MC3 Cat says my goal to put out more Where I Go caches this year than in previous years.
Is there capacity for more Where I Goes?
I was going to say, the chat content made it sound like, yeah, he's already pretty full there.
And going back to what you were saying, Land Monkey, of that contributes to my goal of finding more Where I Go caches.
There you
So
go.
then that's another wonderful thing about goals is a lot of times your own personal goals support other people's goals.
There you go.
Collusion.
So if you have a goal planning Zoom session where you can share goals as geocache, so well, I want to find more multis. Somebody else, well, we don't have a lot of multis. Hey, my goal will be to hide more multis.
Hey,
And now you're
Exactly.
friends forever.
what a symbiotic relationship. That's awesome.
I love it.
Pete says the reason I may be able to qualify for a mystery challenge calendar grid challenge is because may not be able to qualify, or may just be able to. I don't know. Because I put off solving so many mysteries.
Yeah, so he has a lot left in his area to solve this year. So he can get a lot this year in one concentrated place there.
Nicely done.
Oh, let's see. Who was that? Keith also says the best way to host an event, hide a cache, and when it's published, rush down to observe the FTF rush. Just be sure to physically distance.
Mask up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Funny.
Let's see. I'm trying to find them so we can show them on screen as well. Keith has another one. Land Monkey, you want to read that while I look for it?
Sure. He says that he dreams of tackling the golden snitch geo art on Prince Edward Island in Canada one of these days, perhaps in the after times.
Yes.
I didn't know there was such a geo art on Prince Edward Island. That sounds pretty cool.
You know, see, we learned something tonight.
There we go.
And
That
Prince
is
Edward Island is
inspiring.
a beautiful place to visit anyways. So
What is a golden snitch?
it's from Harry Potter.
From
It's
Harry Potter,
the little thing that he catches when he's playing broom
Quidditch.
ball or whatever it is.
Quidditch.
Quidditch.
Yep. Quidditch.
I knew the name of the thing. I just couldn't remember the name of the sport. So-
I was impressed. Mhm.
and a sport in air quotes.
Yes.
Chris is such a muggle. You've been called out as a muggle, Chris.
Yep.
I never watch the shows.
There you go. Landsharks would like to know how quickly you go through notebooks, and what do you do with the full ones?
Oh, that's a great question. I have a little box of full notebooks that are either like my handwork from when I'm doing puzzles in case somebody asks me for a hint or I want to go back and look at how how did I solve that? And does that tell me anything about this other one that I want to solve? So I have a little like card box for them, and other ones too. Like I have a field, like a one for working on multis in the field, or for writing down my Earth cache answers or something like that. Nearly all of my jackets have a pen and a notebook and chapstick in them.
I mean, what else do you need?
I just seriously. So I go through a lot of them at once. And I have a lot of them in queue. I get a lot of notebooks. So even just like in my room here, I have a whole box of notebooks just ready for using.
Great.
Well, that asks MC3 Captain who supplies her with notebooks. Sounds like a money making venture for a geo supplier.
Sounds like she's okay for a while.
Yeah, I was saying everybody else once they learn the methodology from JT Coffee. All right.
Well, and I can personally testify that she is very gracious at offering assistance for caches. I have asked and received assistance.
Nice.
Thank
Very
you.
good.
Yeah, happy to help.
Last piece before we maybe start wrapping things up. GSM times 2 repeats and emphasizes something that you talked about earlier, Jesse. And he says goals can be fun or they can be work.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure that they are fun for you. And I think that's really a good point for us to maybe wrap it up on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's supposed to be fun. And if it's not fun anymore, then it sounds like you just need a different goal.
Yeah, do something different.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Well, JT Coffee, thank you so much for coming back once again, joining us, one of our favorite guests to have back on the podcast.
Oh, thanks. I love coming. My face hurts from laughing and smiling so much. It's always great to come.
Awesome. Well, our job is to make your face hurt every night.
There you go.
Right. If people would like to connect with you, how could they do that?
Yeah, I am, available on the geocaching website. You can send me a messenger, and that's, it pops up on my watch and my phone. It's very accessible. I'm JT Coffee there, and you can easily find me there. I post a lot of my geocaching adventure photos on Instagram, and you can find me there at Jessie, but it's JESS_SEA, Juliet Echo Sierra Sierra _ Echo Alpha.
Nicely played.
Brownie points to the guest. Well done.
Very well done. Listeners, thank you for tuning in. We hoped you enjoyed this episode of Caching in the Northwest. Don't worry, we've got the after show coming yet. And there's a lot of things going on there.
Mm-hmm. You know what else? I want to take a moment, as we always do at this point in time, to thank Landsharks, our corporate Denali level sponsor. Hey, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to Landsharks newsletter and find out about new products first. And I'm just going to say, that's a hint.
Ooh.
Raised eyebrows, finger on chin. Yes, indeed.
Insider tips right here.
Pro tips. Yes. Insider trading with us. Landsharks.ca is the outdoor adventure and geocaching store. Check them out online. And remember, they are shipping those online orders daily. And folks, we want to thank our faithful Denali level supporters, of course, Landsharks, but also Team Squirrel, Groovy Owl, and the geocaching app Cachly. If you want to know more about supporting the show, click the Patreon link on the cachingandw.com, a website.
That's right. And, these patrons all got a coin from Landsharks.
They what?
Week or so. Yes. Well, maybe more than a week for some because, Post Canada is much quicker than getting across the border. But so that's a very nice Landsharks coin they got.
It was. And thank you to Landsharks for helping us do that for our patrons this year. That was amazing.
Yeah. You guys are very accommodating. Thank you. Like Broncos fan for life. She got one.
Yeah, Sprouter.
LG 9000 also got one.
Green Words.
Tick Magnet.
Kennel Barb.
GeoNav Pros.
Antaeus.
Kev MacD.
The Geo Travelers.
Logwork.
Kid Vegas 19.
You talks to rocks.
Keats 94.
Boomer 365.
Wino Seattle.
MC3 Cats.
On a boot.
Team Noltex.
Wet Coaster.
B Pendragon.
Sege Hove.
CRS 98.
Fairwood West.
T Sayer.
Dora Moore.
Trexer 0.
Kitty Quest.
Subway Mark.
GSM ×2.
The Camp Clan.
Seebeck Tribe.
Just finding our way.
Alarobrick.
Donners.
Limax.
Acker Duck.
Genies.
Nerve.
And our newest patron, UDAC. I like that letter.
Hey, welcome to the family, UDAC.
Yeah, welcome. Thanks so much to UDAC and all of the patrons and all of the listeners. We appreciate all of you. And we appreciate JT Coffee joining us tonight and providing, once again, the analog shark. Got a glimpse of the analog shark there. Oh, yeah.
Mine makes noise.
Ooh,
Not the right kind.
not the stealth shark, I see.
One last time, how can they reach you?
Oh, me. They can
Sure, why not?
sure. You can find me on through the geocaching.com website and app. Send me a message at JT Coffee, and I am at Jessie, JESS_SEA on Instagram.
Some great photos there. I've seen them personally. And for everybody else, I'm Wits End. He's Chris of the Northwest, and he's Land Monkey. He's like there and yeah, one of those things. You can find us on social medias and around the interwebs, but just start at cachingnw.com/hosts, and there'll be links to everything.
That's right. And folks, you know what it's time for?
No.
It's time at last.
At
There.
last.
No, not quite the after show yet. This is a brand new segment for
Brand
the
new.
listeners to learn a little bit about our hosts and maybe even our guests.
That's right.
So-
I forgot. I jumped the gun.
It's last.
Well, it's new,
There are
so
some things.
there you go.
So we want you to ask us some things that we're going to answer. If you'd like to ask some things, call into 253-693-TFTC or email your question to feedback@cachingnw.com. Now, lady and gentlemen, what was your first car?
Lady.
Me. It was a Saturn SL1.
Oh,
Mhm. I
Saturn
learned
was
to,
supposed to change the way they sold cars, and I don't know if they did.
I didn't buy the car. It was a gift for me, so I don't know how that experience went. I learned to drive in a Jeep, and then my mom got a new car, and so I got hers, and it
Learn
worked
to
for me
drive
for
in a
quite
Jeep. The more I learn about JT Coffee, the more I like her.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome. Jim, how about you? First car?
First car was also a hand-me-down, but a great one because my grandfather bought it brand new, handed it to my mother, who gifted it to me. 1963 four-door sedan Ford Fairlane 500. Little
Ooh.
tiny tail fins and round Ford taillights from the 1960s. And if you go back and watch like Dragnet, Twilight Zone from that era, a lot of the police cars and cars from that era, like, oh yeah, I recognize that grill pattern. It looks just like, yeah. Great memories in that car. Back when backup lights and seat belts were options. Listed as one.
There you go.
Oh, there's more metal that rusted off that car than they put into brand new cars.
Oh yeah, I had a trunk. I had to literally climb inside the trunk to reach the jack on the spare tire because the trunk was so deep.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I remember in high school, some of my buddies were motorheads, I guess is what we called them, and they bought things like Chevelles and Monte Carlos and things like that, and would rebuild them. And I was never really a car guy, but I enjoyed helping them and learning. And I found that it actually was really good because I learned a lot about how engines work. And so
Yeah.
when I had to work on my own, I was like, okay,
Mhm.
I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I appreciate mechanical apparatus and how they work. And yeah, I wasn't a huge car guy, but I became one mostly out of necessity because I was broke. It's way cheaper to fix your own car than to pay a mechanic.
There you go. Chris, what was your first one?
Starcatcher.
Starcatcher.
Ooh, security questions.
Touche. Busted.
Mine was a 72 Volkswagen Beetle.
Ooh.
My dad found a great deal, actually bought it a month before I had my driver's license. So all I could do is, look at it, go sit in it, wash it, clean it. Yeah, good car. I'll drive you soon.
Nice.
But I love that car.
You
There
could
you
probably
go.
park it in the trunk of my Fairlane.
Without a doubt.
I got really good at 3-point turns because you couldn't just pull into a parking space with one shot.
Unless it was a pull through, right?
Yeah.
Well, speaking of places you could have parked your Volkswagen, my first vehicle was a 67 Sportsman Fargo van.
Ooh.
Yeah, not panel, window. So it was windows all the way around, and it was literally like driving a bus. It was a mid-engine on the van, and you sat in front of the front wheels, the front tires.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
when you turned, it was a unique experience. You had to kind of learn what you were doing there. It wasn't quite the same as driving any other vehicle.
We owned a Volkswagen bus that was just like that. That was sitting on top of the front wheels. That was fun.
Wow.
Freaked
Pretty cool.
passengers out.
Yeah.
Missed that
Let's
one.
see. We've got a whole bunch of listeners.
Oh, yeah, a ton
feedback.
of them.
Komakino had a Plymouth Duster.
Nice.
Landshark had a 68 Chevelle.
Sweet.
GeoNav Pros had a Volvo 240.
Oh, they're boxy, but they're good. Those things will run forever, by the way.
Apparently, the Landsharks, it went like stink.
Yeah, I bet it did.
I'm not sure stink is good.
Oh,
in that case,
it's good when you're going.
Oh, stink is good. Okay.
A good way to go.
Trexer had a 94 Plymouth Acclaim.
Mm.
CRS 98 had a 73 Ford Maverick.
Maverick was not Ford's shiningest moment, but okay, good.
Um,
Gotcha. Point A to point B, though.
yeah. Breiling had a 81 Toyota Starlet. Only 200 were ever imported into Canada. It was my parents' car, but it was the only one. But I was the only one using it. A 5-speed manual transmission. Super fun in the snow.
I was going to say, I'd never heard of a Toyota Starlet. That's cool. All right.
The Geo Traveler said a 91 Saturn SL. It was purple.
There you go.
Nice. Mine was gray.
There you go.
GSM,
Same, right? Is that same, Jesse? Is that the
Yeah. Saturn SL1, but it was not. Mine was not purple. It was gray.
A little can of spray paint could have fixed that.
That's true.
Oh, GSM times 2 had a motorcycle, a Honda 250.
the nice little size?
Yeah.
Get you around.
Bradley had a Pontiac Firefly gas. Oh, gas at 35 cents a liter.
Back in the day.
When I was in college, there was gas wars going on in the town. And I remember gallon of gas went down to 25 cents one weekend.
Wow. Yeah, 35 cents a liter. Today, I believe I filled up at $1.35 a liter. So
I had to get propane and went to the propane was fine. I needed a gallon of gas for another little engine. And I ended up paying $2.94 because it was the most expensive gas in town. But, I was there.
Yep.
And it's only a gallon. Okay. I didn't want to do it just out of spite, but there was also time. Anyway, Kitty Catch said a 73 Buick LeSabre. MC3 Cats was a 74 Toyota Corolla, which I bought and drove in Japan.
Oh,
I was
nice.
stationed in Japan with the military. It was a left-hand drive too. Ooh.
wow.
Nice.
Boomer 365, 64 Ford Falcon.
Yeah, that had a lot of the same characteristics as my 63 Fairlane. Fairlane was a little bit bigger than the Falcon. A lot of the same engine and drivetrain components.
Huh.
Didn't they use some of the front end?
The front end of the Falcon and the Fairlane looked very similar. I don't. Correct me if I'm wrong, Boomer, but I don't think the Falcon had tail fins, and mine didn't have like the huge,
Right.
50s Cadillac. It had just little tail fins, but the Fairlane had tail fins. I thought the Falcon just had the more rounded corners.
Yeah, the Falcon was pretty flat on the back. If I
those distinctive round Ford tail lights from 1960s. You always knew that.
It protruded like 3 inches or something. Yeah.
I have
Camp Plan. I'm sorry. I'm reading the car names and losing the cashier names because my brain only holds so much. Also had a 76 LeSabre.
There you go.
Keats had a 99 Volkswagen Golf. Still have it to this day. It's clunky.
Hey,
I had an 86 Volkswagen Golf GTI. I loved that car.
were the Golfs the diesel ones? I'm trying to remember.
No, not necessarily.
It started out as a Rabbit in the U.S. and it was the Golf overseas, and then they brought the name over here.
Okay.
Utox to Rocks had a 57 International pickup.
Oh,
You put that thing in a 4-wheel drive, would climb straight up a wall.
Yeah, I bet it, wherever it is, it's probably still running too. Those things
I
are
like that. Yeah.
Oh, Doramore doesn't drive, therefore no first car.
Yeah, but she did craft a couple of police cars that we raced around. The
That's
park.
right.
I still have the steering wheel.
Do you really? That's
Hang on.
awesome, buddy.
Hang on, it's right here.
I remember getting pulled over by that police car. Had to get my registration and my license.
I was going to say,
GSM
Doramore,
come to California, you can easily pay $3.25 a gallon.
Yikes.
I believe this was the steering wheel from that car.
That is
Hey,
awesome.
Doramore, it lives on.
That is awesome.
3 Hams said I had a Plymouth Reliant K car. It was my first, bought for $1.
Ah,
A nice, reliable K car.
yeah. Go to YouTube and look for. I'm Tim. I drive an Aries. Yeah, I don't remember the name of the video, but you find it. But yeah, you will laugh.
Oh, it is hilarious.
Yeah.
Nice
do you see? No
Reliant
fins.
automobile.
No
No
fin.
fins.
No
There you
fins, yeah. And Land Monkey, you were doing 140. That's why she pulled you over.
But it was kilometers.
Let's
What's up?
see.
Where'd you go? Where'd you get to?
Back in the day when you could recognize one car from another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No kidding. Yeah.
Back when they had bumpers and vent windows.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right.
I don't like a Robin Reliant. No, nothing like those are the little 3-wheelers that
That
turn over.
Jeremy Clarkson flipped over and over and over and over again.
And we loved it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was that. Talking about our first cars. Now, do you believe we can go to
The after show.
Oh, you know
There we
what? We can
Don't you
go
have
the
to
after
do some
show
closing
yet.
credits first?
I didn't do the closing credits. I got so excited about cars. Hey, folks, thanks for taking the time to listen to this episode of Cashing in the Northwest. Don't forget that you can be part of the show. Call into 253-693-TFTC and leave us a comment, ask us a question, or let us borrow your sweatpants any time of the day or night. And of course, you can email us at feedback@cashingnw.com. Also, your support helps keep the quality shows coming and allows us to buy sweatpants. If you like the show, click the Patreon link on the cashingnw.com website and subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and more. Give us a thumbs up or a very coveted review. The show's produced by Chris Umfenauer, Jim Paulwitz, and Jay Kennedy. It's licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license. Copyright 2021 by Chris Umfenauer.
Well
Sorry, sweatpants.
Sometimes when you are a man, you wear sweatpants in your room. It's for fun.
It's for fun. Now, folks, and stay tuned for the after show.
You sure this isn't another false alarm?
Hey, Jesse, it's the after show now.
Oh, now is the after show.
Now
Okay.
it's the after
Phew,
show.
okay. Wait, now is the after
Yeah.
show.
Now.
Earlier was
Okay.
a false
Actually,
start.
actually, it was about 10 seconds ago. But
Okay.
We'll just
This
keep
is
going
like-
with it.
This is like the Lord of the Rings that have 17 endings.
That's right.
Just get the big bird to fly over, drop the ring in, the more done.
Done. End.
And
End.
that's the short version.
Oh, that's all they had to do?
It was it. Yeah. You
Why
don't
were
need
there
all those books. Yeah.
87 hours of movies and, 93,000 dead trees
Because
published.
it helped the New Zealand economy.
That's
Oh,
right.
yeah. Okay, never mind then. Let's see.
What?
Sorry, GSM times 2. No, you cannot have, nor do you want my sweatpants.
I'm going to take his word on that.
Oh,
What else you got?
okay. I don't know.
Sierra's 98 wants to start off the after show
Mhm.
with congratulations. There's a new
JT
job
Coffee.
title on JT Coffee's resume.
Yes, there is.
So
If you
Congrats.
wanted to send me a message via geocaching.com messenger, you might notice that I am a lackey now.
Congratulations.
yeah,
Thank you.
Super cool.
it is super cool. Great job.
Good job.
Great place to work.
No kidding. It's amazing. I pinch myself every day.
I've toured HQ a few times and thought this is a cool place. So
And cool people.
yes,
Yeah.
And now
Definitely.
even cooler people.
yes, even cooler.
There you go.
What else
Well,
we got?
Congratulations. What
I'm,
else?
I'm putting a link there in the. Yeah.
We had a comment that came
You
from
watch it
Facebook. Most of our comments tend to come from the YouTube live watchers, but we had one from Facebook. Alida Hebo said, "Can you mention the geocachers of Long Island on your podcast, please? It's a great organization with fun games and contests. Can
I
we
think you
we
would
mention them on the podcast? What do you
Are
think?
they-
No,
are they
we're not
Northwest
allowed
or
to.
anything?
Definitely not.
Okay, so sorry, Alita. We're not going to be able to mention the geocachers of Long Island on our podcast.
Wait, the
Even though they
geocaches
are
of
a
Long
great
Island?
organization with fun games and contests.
No, the geocaches
Well-
of Long Island we can't mention.
No,
It's
not
unfortunate
the
because
geocachers
apparently-
of Long Island.
They have fun games and contests.
Yeah.
I hear about their fun games and contests on, with the geocachers of Long Island, but we can't talk about them
Okay.
Certainly
Well,
not.
let's move on and not talk about the geocachers of Long Island on our podcast.
with fun games. Oh, we can only mention the geocachers of NorthWest Long Island
There you
Oh,
go.
okay.
with their fun games and contests.
That feels about right. Oh dear.
I bet you could find them on Facebook if you were to talk about them, which we're not doing.
No, we're not doing
Yeah,
it.
I bet you could. I wonder if you could find any fun games or contests.
I bet you could.
Yeah. Well, they're a great organization. So
I've heard good things about them.
Maybe we should talk about them sometime.
yeah, but not tonight.
No.
Okay. Moving on. Hashtag
Uh,
FATAS bagpipes.
Bagpipes. That was it. Just
That's it.
bagpipes.
Just bagpipes.
Bagpipes. I gotta say, when we took the train from Oxford to Edinburgh, and when we got off the train and we're walking through, and you hear bagpipes, like this, the city pays pipers to just play the bagpipes, so that as you're walking through, you hear them, and it really, that sense of like, wow, I have arrived in Scotland, and it's so nice.
It's
Did they
either
know more
that
than one song?
or sorry, Chris, go ahead.
Did they? I'm sorry, I interrupted. Do they know more than one song? Because I only hear one song from bagpipers.
I was
was gonna
expecting
say-
you to like sing it how it goes or something like that.
Well, there you go. Yeah, I was going to say they either hire bagpipers or the proclaimers.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Mm.
I think they know two songs because I only hear "Amazing Grace" or is it "Scotland the
Boy?
Brave"?
Mm.
"Scotland the Brave" I think is the famous one you're thinking of.
You're right. There are two.
Yeah.
It's
And by the way,
Amazing Grace, but
way up in the chat, I don't know if he's even still there, but You Talks to Rock says I learned to play the chanter when I was in my late 20s. That is the pipe part of the bagpipes.
Oh, that's
Oh,
cool.
That is cool.
I didn't know it was detachable. I thought it was all just one instrument.
Oh no, it's
Mhm.
it comes apart and on
I didn't
The
know there
King of
different
Random, I think,
ways to
YouTube channel. You can watch somebody play bagpipes after inhaling helium.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
That's a rabbit hole for you.
I just know you've got to work to keep that bag inflated at a certain pressure.
Yeah.
And then
Len Shark says all school kids learn the chanter at school in Scotland.
Ah. I guess that's like learning the recorder here.
Kind
Right.
of. Yeah.
I learned the recorder in school.
I did too.
Mhm.
Three Ham says, meh, I live near Simon Fraser University, founded by a Scotsman. Bagpipers are a dime a dozen here.
Nicely corrected there, Chris.
Thank you. I caught it.
You did catch yourself that time. That's good. That's good.
Oh, there you go. Instead of the recorder, it's a chanter. And those that like it move on to the bagpipes.
Well,
Those
there
that
you
don't move to the US.
go.
MC3 Cats wants to know, does Jesse have a Where I Go challenge that you're currently working on?
Oh, that's a great question. It's that falls into the goals rather than a challenge category. I like to find more of what I don't find a lot of, and I don't have a whole lot of Where I Go finds. And so I'm just trying to kick that number up a little bit.
No, we know who can help you with that, don't
Yes.
Yeah. And she
gonna
didn't
say-
even have to consult a notebook to give that answer.
Right. It's like, if only I knew someone who could put out just more of those.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe with diverse DT ratings. This isn't like
we? There you go.
that.
So 3 Hams in a Rows would like to know, did JT Coffee upgrade her internet connection? There's no freezing tonight from her feed.
It's not great. It was a computer issue, really. My computer is so old and stuff, and so I worked on like a few on the back end of making sure that it wasn't trying to do anything other than talk to you.
Oh,
We appreciate
That's right.
it.
It's gone so smoothly. I didn't even notice.
There you go.
Seamless.
no windstorms, no power outages, no internet outages.
Yeah, we got
Yeah.
lucky. We missed it all by a day.
Yeah.
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 Boy.
No kidding.
Boy, howdy.
Boy,
Land Sharks wants to know, what is JT's coffee role at GCHQ?
Ah,
Or GQ.
I
Maybe
am-
you're at the magazine.
Yeah,
ooh.
it's an abbreviation version.
I am on it's called the CBS team. I am supporting the community, the reviewers, through all kinds of different support, whatever it is, lots of different multifaceted ways of supporting them.
awesome. There
Yeah.
you
Nice. Komakino wants one of your lackey tags.
go.
Awesome. You're on the list.
Oh, by the way, as a lackey now, when you go to an event, you're just a tag vending machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna
No,
say,
she's
You're a
not.
lackey. You have a tag.
oh my gosh, that sounds like a gadget cache, like a thing. I need a thing to like. Oh, what a great idea.
Can somebody find bounce? Yeah.
I
For the price of one round path tag, I'll give you a lackey coin. You have to put it in the machine.
There
right,
you go.
and then Tui. Oh, so cool.
There you go. We're, yeah. Anyways.
JT Coffee, MC3 Cats will need help categorizing all these snag or Spot the Ape coins. Come on by. Lots of Where I Goes. Oddly
Oddly
near-
enough,
Well, that's a surprise. Oh my goodness. Wow.
somebody was looking for those.
Imagine that. Keats shared as a hashtag FATAS. Tomorrow, a new episode of Keats 94's Geocaching Adventures goes active at 10 a.m. I think every Friday morning he's got a new episode coming out. This one is Bunsen in the Mist. So there you go.
Ooh.
Watch it on YouTube.
like a Bunsen burner.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I
It's a
know.
different
It's at
spelling.
Bunsen Lake up here in British Columbia.
Hmm. Sounds like it'll
Uh,
be misty there. Maybe.
Yeah,
No burning.
Absolutely.
MC3 Cat says, I think half of my 81 Where I Go finds are MC3 Cat caches.
How did you
Three
get
hands.
40 and a half?
40 and a half.
40
well,
and a
you
half.
know, one didn't really work out.
Okay.
Started it, just didn't quite get to the final.
Yeah.
So here's a really interesting FATAS. And I really love this one because it sets up for a new target for Rock Chalk besides me. And Feedback Tribe wants to know, Will there be some competitions between Rock Chalk and JT Coffee now?
Hmm.
Yes.
Yes. Wow. She doesn't even pause for a breath. That's
Yes.
it.
I've already been informed by a non-lackey geocacher that I have no hope of ever beating him. So I keep that playing in my mind of like, it's
Oh.
okay. That it's not, the expectation is not to beat him because I don't know if I ever can. But
Beat
yeah,
him. Like, there's so many different categories, right?
that's
That's
true.
the beauty of the
So
game.
very true. Very,
He
very
doesn't
true.
have the notebooks you have.
Yeah.
Well, he might. You never know.
Uh-huh.
But we do have internal ways of encouraging each other to go out, and so there will definitely be some, or to go out finding caches rather, and so yes, there will definitely be some of that.
Fantastico. I love it.
And that's all we have in the after show.
Ooh.
We're going to have to do a show on Cache Tour.
Yes. We need to reach out to the Pacific Northwest Cache Tour rep.
Yes.
I
We haven't
believe
talked to them for a
it's
while.
JW Lair.
Yes, TW.
TW Lair. Sorry, yes,
Mhm.
TW.
Yep. We have not had a chat on that for a while. I will make a note to get in touch.
It's a powerful tool, and it can be overwhelming at first,
Mhm.
but a super great tool once you start
yeah.
to really groove in it, and you can export it to Google, and there's a plugin, and so that as you're looking at the geocaching page, you can send caches to your trips, and you can plan multiple trips at a time, and the app is fabulous, and
Mhm.
it'll tell you if you're on schedule or behind schedule or ahead of
Yes.
schedule. Oh, love it.
We
Yeah.
used it when we did the Utah Geo Tour. It was super helpful.
Mhm.
Mhm. I just used it with MC3 Cats last week. Fantastic.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. We're going to get that one scheduled up.
Yeah.
So, GW Lair, if you're listening, expect a
That's right.
message from me soon.
And
by
like
the way-
Bryling says,
Oh, yeah.
go ahead.
I was just going to say real quick, but Jesse, this is one that you do not have to win, and I suggest you don't try. But Rock Chalk wins the shiny head category.
I don't know. I could make it happen.
Anything's a challenge for JT Coffee.
I bet you it's in the notebook. Yeah.
And I don't I don't have to win everything. That makes, but still, I do like a good challenge.
There you go.
I think we learned from another show, says GSM times 2, that if you are beating Rock Chalk, don't let him know that you're beating him. That will only motivate him to beat you.
I just want to point out, though, that at the end of the year, I still beat him.
Ooh.
Wow.
So I did win overall for points. But I'm just going to say that, and it is what it is. But
Amazing.
Point. Whatever.
Good thing he doesn't listen to the end of the podcast.
well, he never listens, so I'm totally safe. It's fine. Anyway,
All right.
Oh, and like Bryling says each and every week, it's time to get out and go caching in the Northwest.
North wet.
The Northwest.
Northwest.
Where is it?
Indeed.
I can't point.